You'd get a ticket for littering along a sidewalk or be arrested for carting off beach sand for a home improvement project. Look what they get away with on Hen Island. Why? Their location is more of an environmentally sensitive area than anywhere else in Rye. We open this section with a picture of one of the 6 beaches on Hen Island. Although beach maintenance is the responsibility of Hen Island, most of the beaches on the island are not maintained or cleaned on a regular basis. Trash floating in Milton Harbor or washed up on the Hen Island beaches, a common sight, is a visual symbol of environmental degradation. Floatable debris can have serious economic consequences. Public and private beach clubs, marinas, and yacht clubs stand to lose revenue when reports of garbage and or sewage in the water have patrons avoiding these businesses and screaming for cleanup. Floatable debris is a nuisance and hazard for boaters. Floating lines can foul a boat's propellers, and sheets of plastic or plastic bags can block an engine's cooling water intake, resulting in the engine overheating. Collisions with larger, heavier floatable debris can cause hull or propeller damage to boats. Floatable debris can harm wildlife when they ingest or become entangled in it. Ingestion can cause suffocation or starvation. Undigested plastic pellets can stay in the stomachs of wildlife, leaving no space for real food. Floatable debris can have a particularly detrimental effect on endangered species, where the loss of an individual is devastating to a small population. The next 4 pictures are examples of the low regard most of the Hen Island residents seem to have for the environment and the shores of Milton and Mamaroneck harbors. The first picture is that of an old rotten walkway used once many years ago on a dock for the island. Instead of cutting up the walkway and removing it from the island, the resident buried it on the beach. This walkway has been in its current location for over 15 years. Here is an old oil storage tank that's been half buried on the shores of Hen Island for over 20 years. If this 200-pound oil tank was discovered in the back or side yard of a home in Rye, the Health Department Environmental Unit and the City of Rye would require removal permits and soil samples be taken before the tank be touched or moved in any way. When reported to the City of Rye and the County of Westchester, their response was, quote, "It probably floated in from the mainland and is of no environmental concern. The presence of this abandoned oil tank is not in violation of any city or county law." End quote. This next is a photo of an old rusted sink alongside the oil tank. The last time this type of sink was sold or manufactured was in the 1950s. Is it possible that this sink floated in with the oil tank? These are serious cases of neglect and abuse that demonstrate the attitude of most of the cottage owners on Hen Island. Our last photo of this series is of special interest. The homeowner of the adjacent cottage has intentionally saved and placed this large quantity of steel debris at the base of this tree along the shoreline in an effort to stop erosion. The Board of Directors of Hen Island has encouraged this practice for years. One of the covenants in the deed to Hen Island in particular states that Hen Island, quote, "at all times be kept free of litter, garbage, and all sewage, and drain water shall be carefully contained therein and sanitarily disposed of. No litter, garbage, sewage, or drainage shall be discharged or permitted to be discharged into the environing waters." End quote. This covenant has never been enforced or challenged until today, when we cry out for environmental justice with these pictures, supporting our views. The following 4 photos are examples of construction work along the shores of Hen Island being performed without permits. The first is that of a seawall and retaining wall enlargement during construction on Cottage 9, owned by a member of the Board of Directors for Hen Island. Please note the size of the original wall as evidenced by the color difference of the old and new sections. Here is a picture of the finished product. As you can see, the size of the wall has quadrupled in size. The Board of Directors of Hen Island acknowledged approval of this work, but tried to say that the owners were just repairing a wall in distress and installing a walkway to connect the 2 adjacent walkways. In written response to a complaint by another Hen Island stockholder, they actually commended the work. Adding insult to injury, the bases of the tree trunks in the side yard have been covered with fill, and it's just a matter of time before the trees die as a result. Most of the fill materials used for the project were taken from the beaches of Hen Island and used to extend an existing patio and install a new sitting area. To our amazement, after complaints from a neighboring community, The city of Rye did issue a summons to the owners, but then refused to issue a violation for the construction of the walkway or the removal of the fill from the beach, all of which were performed at the same time. This picture is another example of a retaining wall being built along the shores of the south end of Hen Island. This wall has been expanding on a yearly basis for the past 5 years. Just this past year, a stairway was added. This wall is being constructed by another member of the board of directors to expand his front and side yards. All of the aforementioned construction projects were done without the approvals of any of the appropriate agencies responsible for approving plans along the shore and in the buffer zone. Particularly disturbing, the city of Rye refuses to acknowledge any of the illegal work or to issue the appropriate violations. The question is why? Our second to last picture demonstrates another serious violation of Hen Island Covenant rules from yet another member of the governing board on Hen Island. This picture shows a wall constructed in the water of the Long Island Sound, once again placed as to retain soil and extend the beach line in front of the president's cottage. Our final picture demonstrates how this cottage owner filled in a void along the wall with construction debris that should have been removed from the island after use. Instead, they have filled in a portion of the buffer zone with the unused material with no permits or approvals, and again without any resistance from the city of Rye and the county of Westchester. The city of Rye and the county of Westchester irresponsibly place people and the environment in harm's way. There seems to be no regard for the potential destruction possible every day these violations are allowed to continue. We encourage everyone to please join our mailing list, write a letter, spread the word, or donate your time to help heal the harbor starting today.